Come into Veeam, go to the backup infrastructure. In the backup infrastructure, you see I have some buckets set up here, but I want to import the backups from my Wasabi account, right? So Wasabi's not set up here, so I need to set up the connection to Wasabi. So I'm going to add a backup repository, and I'm going to go down here and I'm going to add the object storage repository. So we got S3 compatible, Amazon S3. I'm going to do the S3 compatible because this is Wasabi. They use the S3 API, but it's not Amazon AWS S3, right? So it's compatible. It's the same API, but it's compatible with that standard. So I'm going to click compatible. I'm going to name this Wasabi. Okay. But no, I'm just going to take all the defaults here. So I need my service point. So I found my service point for Wasabi. I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste it into here. Hopefully we'll get it to go. There we go. So US West 1, so I need to change my region to West 1. Make sure all my regions and everything work properly. And then my credentials, so I got to make sure I pull the right credential. So this one here is good. So we take this, click next, and it should go ahead and read everything in, make a connection, show me my buckets. So it's reading my bucket. There is my bucket. Okay, and then my folder, look and see here, look at the list of folders I have available. So there's the top level folder. I'm going to add that in there. This would be to limit, consumption and immutability. I'm just worried about restoring this data in. I want to import it and restore it in. So I want to go ahead and get that done. So I'm going to apply this, and it is just going to go ahead and add this. Make it a repository. Tell me it knows where everything is. It's going to save the repository settings and configuration once we get finished with everything done. So I can do a quick review of what we've got here and click finish. Okay, so now I got my Wasabi object. Now the thing is how do we get Wasabi to go ahead and do the restore button here and import backup button here? And what this does is it actually forces the read, right? So it's going to take it from the object storage. It may take a long time depending on the number of machines or restore points. Start the support process. So yes, we're going to go ahead and do that. It's going to go here and then try to read everything out of the buckets. So it is going to start the import process. And basically, remember, this import process isn't bringing any data into the repository or back into Veeam. It's just creating the the metadata. So here you see it's creating database records. So the database records just basically hold the metadata that it's reading out of the image, and it's going to use that for restores. Okay, so let this run a little bit. Let's go ahead and click next. Ready for importing backups. Let's go ahead and click finish. And then it should start importing everything in here as if we watch it all come across this. So it's processing and found a repository. It's processing, it's synchronizing. So we're importing backups. And this could, depending on the size of your backups and how much it has to bring in from S3, this could take quite a bit of time. And especially like in my case where I'm pulling this in from Wasabi, which is obviously coming over the internet, right, into AWS. So we're just going to let this run here. And there may be a second where I'm just going to pause this and let it run for brevity so you don't have to sit here with me and watch the paint dry. And we'll come right back to it. Okay, so I'm back here after I paused for a little bit, but you can see it only took 43 seconds to read everything in. So that was pretty quick. Again, my lab is small though, but this could take some time. So we've got that here. So let's close and let's go see if we have things available to restore. So if I go to home, you notice here I have a new selection here that says object storage imported, right? So if you notice that, I clicked on that, right, and it shows me what backups I have. I can open this up, and now it shows me all the backups that I have sitting in S3. So I can go here and I can right-click on one of these, and this is all the things that I can do out of it. I can do an instant recovery, restore everything. I could restore to Amazon EC2, Microsoft, Google. So I'm going to go to EC2, right? We'll just go ahead and step through the process to get this done. So this is the name of the machine, right? So I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to my account. So I had to put my AWS account information in here, right? So manage accounts. I'm going to add. Let's see if it's going to take this key here. So I'm going to add that. Nope, cancel that. I want to Okay, here let's take my AWS count. Okay, region, global data center. I am using the U.S. East Ohio. Okay, go there. Let's get my VPCs out of here. Might have used the wrong account. But these access keys may not be the access keys I need. Let me see if it's going to take that. It may just need my regular login ID. We'll see. Okay, let's go ahead and try this again. So in the Help Center guide, there is some EC2 IAM permissions that you need to add to this user. So I went ahead and did that, and let's see if I did it properly, if it'll take. So we got that in there, added permissions. So it looks like it's gone through there. So I'm going to dev SQL. I'm going to just keep the original name, and I'm going to restore start time. No difference if I want to add tags or change the VM name. I could do that here. Right, next, instance type, right? Where's the license going to come from? How much is going to cost? And select VM size. So if I want to change this, I go here to edit. Right? And if I remember properly, that this VM is a little bit large, so I have to make sure I get a good size VM type to run this, restore as. And then, of course, the key to run everything will be provided by AWS. So, yeah, okay. I think this is good enough, right? A1 medium. I'm just going to restore. I'm not going to go ahead and try to increase it, try to run it, right? So I'm just going to take this. So we're good here. If I needed to change the VMs, right, here's all the VM types, right? So I can go extra large, A1, all kinds of different stuff. We're just going to take the A1 large, right? If I wanted to bring my own license and not use a OS license from AWS, I could do that, but I'm just going to take the AWS license. So click OK, got the instance type. Next, network, the VPCs and security groups. So this is going to go into my VPC1. I'm going to put it into this is my public subnet. I'm going to put it in my private subnet. Security group, I'm just going to take whichever one comes with that. I can't remember exactly what security group it is here. Private access. I think we're going to do that one. And I don't need a public IP with this because it's in a private subnet. Click OK. Next. Secure restore would be if I wanted to scan it for any kind of malware activity. If there was like an antivirus running on the helper appliance, I could do some scans. That way I could scan this VM for any malware before I put it back in EC2. I'm not going to do that. So proxy appliance is required when restoring backups from Amazon EC2 VMs, right? And it's required for improved restore performance, but it's not needed, right? But usually it does, right? So we got the appliance. It helps. It helps them. It's faster because now the appliance is doing it and the Veeam server is not doing it, right? And for Linux, you absolutely need the appliance. But I'm going to go ahead and use the appliance because it's forcing me to. Instance size, this is all just the same, everything for VM. I'm going to use the public subnet so I can have access to the gateway, right? And I'm going to take the default security group on this, okay? Click OK. And then it's getting ready to create the proxy for me, and that will spin up. Oh, we don't want that. What's that? Where's my security group for? That's it. That's the first one right there. So you have to have access to 443 and 222 and all that stuff if you want to go ahead and do that. This security gateway gives that to me, right? Next, if you need a reason, and then a summary, right? Try again. Okay, so I need to find a VM that uses the Intel chipset x86, not a AMD, right? So I have to go back to the instance type, change a new VM, right? So, which one of these is... We'll go C's. We'll try C. Let's just try a C. C4. See if a C. If we'll take a C. Right. Let's see if I can get beyond this here. Okay. There we go. Got a good one. Okay. So we got everything ready to go. Go ahead and click finish. And let's see if it's going to go ahead and start moving everything. So it should spin up the it should start spinning everything up. Let me find where did I put my EC2? Here we go. So let's go back here to my EC2 instances and see what's going on here. EC2. Go to my list of instances. Make sure I'm in the right region. Duh. Okay, so there's the proxy appliance for the Dev SQL restore, right? It is. I don't know if you could see that or not, but it is getting spun up right here. This one, if you can see it. Make this a little bit bigger so we can see what's going on in here. It's right here, right? So it's up and running. So you see that got spun up, right? So over here, you can see that what's going to happen. Starting to restore jobs, right? Potential sovereignty issues, blah, right? Because Ohio from Wasabi, right? Backed up in New York State or something like that was where I had my settings set on my VMs for locality. But that's no big deal. It's just a nag, right? Resolving platform, preparing proxy appliance. And you can notice here too, it says it's running over here. So I can see it's running and it's doing everything. So we'll let this run a little bit and I will be with you as soon as we get it all going. Okay, it's still running. It's been just a little bit of time, as you can see. Some of the things that's going on, right? Started the job, got the platform, preparing the appliance VM, importing the role and policies. So it's moved a couple disks over, the flat files. Okay, created a snapshot that it's making the disk. It's working on the second disk at 50% done. It actually says it's 100%, but that was just because it was 100% for the first disk. The second disk, you can see, is still 50%. Some of the statistics was, 230 megabits a second on the restore, which is really good and a lot faster than I thought it was going to be in my lab. But that's encouraging to see. So, but it's still plugging right along. If we want to see what is going on in the EC2 instance, you can see here we still have the proxy appliance up that is mounting all the disk and creating everything. And then once that's finished, then we should have the VM up here ready, restored, and ready to use. Obviously, I'd have to go make some changes to it, right? I mean, they're going to need an IAM account. It's going to need a couple other things in there that I didn't have because it's an on-prem VM. But you get the point, right? So we're chugging right along. I'll be right back as soon as this paint finishes drying. Okay, guys, checking back in. We just had something else happen. So the second snapshot for the second disk has been taken care of. Now we're importing the VM into the EC2, and the logs have been exported. So we should be done with this here fairly shortly. I'll be back in just a second. Okay, as you can see here, everything's done, right? Snapshots are completed, VM's been exported, logs been done, import restores have been completed successfully, right? So we've got it here in history, checked, close, everything's done. So let's close this. Let's go and check our work in EC2. So I'm here in EC2, and as you can see, here's the proxy appliance that has been created, and it's been terminated, so it's no longer needed because the backup's been done. And here's my SQL instance. It's up and running, and it's initializing. Actually, to see this, I had to go do a restore on the console. But once I did a restore on the console, it did show up, right? So you may have to do that a couple times, depending on there. So there you go. You have it. So that was a restore of a VM that was backed up from my on-premises VBR server to Wasabi. And then I took a VBR server in AWS, imported my backups in from Wasabi, and restored to EC2. So if I wanted to, I can come in here and do more restores if I needed to. There we go. Again, I appreciate your patience today.